Hello everyone, welcome to Yarn Wonders. So today we are going to see how to make this bee. It's a very cute pattern and I really enjoyed making it. It's very simple and it requires only a magic circle and single crochet stitches. So there is a link in the description box on how to make a magic circle and single crochet. So this is a 4-part video and we are going to go to the part 1. I'll leave the other links in the description box below. So let's get into the pattern. For this bee, you will need some yarn. So I have chosen to make this in yellow and black. So I'll need yellow yarn and black yarn, both of the same thickness preferably. And I chose some white yarn for the wings. You could also use a golden yellow or something that would go with these two colors. Okay. Other than this, you will need some pins. So I have these pins here to hold the parts of the bee together, so that it's easy for you to sew it in. You're gonna For the main pattern you'll need a 3.5 mm crochet hook, and for the wings, because I couldn't find the yarn of the same size, so I've gone for a thinner one. So for this one I'm using a 2.5 mm crochet hook. Okay, so let's get into the pattern. To start the pattern, start with a magic circle. To make a magic circle, you have to hold your yarn like this and make a X and hold it here. Now insert your crochet hook, pull out a loop like this and hold the loop. Make sure you don't let go of the loop. Now chain 1. The first row is going to be a magic circle with 6 single crochets. So I've chained 1, yarn over, pull out a loop, yarn over, pull out a loop again. Again yarn over, pull out a loop, yarn over, pull out a loop again. So make 6 single crochets into the magic circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So I made 6 single crochets. Now I just have to close the magic circle. There is a link in the description box on how to make a magic circle and how to make a single crochet. So now I just have to slip stitch into the chain 1 space. Okay. It's a little thin yarn, so it's a little difficult to get in. So you make sure that you slip stitch into the chain 1 space and not into the first single crochet. Okay. So insert your hook into the chain 1 space and slip stitch into the chain 1 space. So now our first row of 6 single crochets is done. So for the next row, just pull the slip stitch tight so that in the next row you don't put a single crochet into the slip stitch. Again, next row, chain 1. The next row is an increase row with 12 single crochet stitches. That is, in each stitch you have to put 2 single crochets. So insert your hook, pull out a loop, yarn over, pull out of both the loops. So each stitch will have 2 single crochets in this row. Three, 4, so I made 4 stitches. You have to put 2 single crochets in each stitch. Make sure to count your stitches at the end of every row, because if you miss one stitch also, the pattern is going to change. And if you check at end of every row, it will be easy for you to correct your pattern. So let me just count the stitches. 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we got 12 single crochets. Now I'm going to slip stitch into the chain 1 space. Okay. Pull out the slip stitch tight. So now we are going to move on to the next row, that is row 3. So row 3, we have to chain 1, and this is again an increase row, that is we are going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches and increase in the next one. So that is 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and an increase into the next one. So now we have done a increase stitch. So I'm going to continue this pattern throughout this row. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet into the next one, and 2 single crochets into the third stitch. 1 and 2. Okay. So again 1, 1, and 2 stitches into the next one. 1 and 2. So by the end of this row, you should be having 18 stitches. Follow the pattern carefully so that you don't miss any stitches. And every row in this pattern will end with an increase or decrease stitch. So if you got your pattern right, your last stitch in a row will be an increase or decrease stitch. Since this is an increase row, your last stitch will be an increase stitch. So we are into the last one. I'm going to crochet increase stitch into this one and slip stitch. Let me just count the work. 17, 18. So we got 18 stitches. Slip stitch into the last into the chain 1 space. So we have done with the third row. Now the fourth row is again an increased row. In this row we are going to do 3 single crochets by itself and 2 single crochet into the next stitch. 2, so we have made an increase stitch. So to the next one, 1 single crochet by itself, 1 single crochet by itself, 1 single crochet by itself, and into the next one we are crocheting an increase stitch. That is 2 single crochets into the same stitch. By the end of this row, you should be having 24 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and now we are going to do an increase stitch. 1, 2, both the stitches into the same stitch. Okay. So if you get the pattern right, um, each of your increased stitch will be aligning to um, the increased stitch in your previous row. So that is another way to check on your pattern. So now we are down to the, we are almost done with this row. I got four more stitches. One, three, and now the last stitch will be an increase stitch. So by the end of this row, you should be having 24 stitches. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So you got 24 stitches. I'm going to slip stitch into the chain 1 space. So row 4 is done. So here we are done with the first 4 rows. For the next 4 rows, it's going to be just repeat rows, that is 1 single crochet into each stitch. So I'll meet you back after 4 repeat rows. So here I am. I finished the 4 repeat rows, that is 4 rows of 24 single crochets. Now I'm going to go to the 9th row. So the 9th row is 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches and 2 together. So basically we need, I'm just making the shape of the head. Okay, so if you can see, uh, the pattern tapers here and again it expands down. So here we have to, so till here we have done the increase stitches. So from here we'll be doing a decrease stitch, then again increase it as the pattern goes. Okay, so the 9 stitches, ninth row is 1 single crochet in next 2 stitches and then 2 together. So that's 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets. So I've done 1 single crochet in this stitch and 1 single crochet in this one. Okay. So in the next one I'm going to do a decrease stitch, that is insert your hook, take out a loop, insert your hook, take out your loop again. That is, you have to do 2 single crochets into each stitch, but you should not complete the stitch. So you'll complete it together. Now yarn over, pull out of all 3 loops. I'll show that again. So this is 1 single crochet, again 1 single crochet. The next one you're going to make a 2 together stitch. So insert your hook, pull out a loop. Now instead of finishing this single crochet, you will hold it and go into the next one and pull out a loop. So you have done two incomplete single crochets. So we are going to complete it together like this. So I'm going to show it again. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and the next is a decrease. So yarn over, pull out a loop, do not finish the single crochet, go into the next stitch, pull out a loop again, and you finish it together. So yarn over, pull out of all 3 loops. Again 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, then 2 together. One single crochet, 1 single crochet, insert, pull out a loop, do not complete the single crochet, insert into the next loop, pull out a loop. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull out of all 3 loops. So that is a decrease stitch. Okay. So just like the other rows, in this one also it ends with a decrease stitch. So if you're doing an increase row, the pattern always ends with an increase stitch. Now we are going to do a decrease row. So this will end in a decrease stitch. Okay. If this if you follow the pattern right, you will always end in a decrease or increase stitch. Okay. So now I'm going to slip stitch into the chain one space here. Okay. So by end of this row you'll be having 18 stitches. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18. Again chain 1. So the next row is 1 stitch, 1 single crochet and then 2 together. So I've done 1 single crochet, then a decrease, again 1 single crochet by itself and then decrease, 1 single crochet, decrease. By end of this row you should have 12 stitches. So as you can see, there is a knot over here. This usually happens with the yarn you buy, because maybe the manufacturer itself, they would have joined 2 pieces of yarn. So I'm going to show you how to hide this one while you crochet. So in the next one I'm doing a single crochet. So I'm holding it here. Okay, so this goes inside and then so I pull it out here. So now if you see the knot, it goes inside. It's not going to show on the front portion of my work, so it's going to go inside the portion where we'll be filling in with cotton. Okay, so in the next either you can hold it like this and crochet over this knot. This will be helpful when you are doing a flat pattern and both the sides matter, but in this case you need not do that. So I'm just going to leave it inside just like that. So now this is a decrease stitch. Okay, so again 1 single crochet all by itself and I'm at the end of the row. It ends with a decrease stitch. So if you count your single crochets, you will have 12 single crochets. Okay, so at this point you're going to stuff the head with some cotton.